Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I was able to generate over $100,000 in a single month without showing my face, building a personal brand, or running any form of paid ads. So to start out, I'm going to explain to you what the business model actually is, and then I'll get into my particular story. So firstly, the business model is called shadow operating. Now, this is a business where you go out, you find an influencer who has a great following, good engagement, but there's a monetization gap. And so your role and sort of like your value that you'll provide is that you will come in and offer something better and fix their monetization for them. So you want to partner with this influencer, build a digital product or offer that is much better than they're currently offering, if any at all, because most influencers have like affiliate links or really nothing there. And then you launch like the offer, the influencer will drive their traffic to it, and then you split the profits fairly. So that's kind of like what the business model is. Now, if we get into what I actually did. So I was working a job for an influencer doing his marketing. Now, at the time, I realized that, he had a ton of followers. I think it was something like 3 million across all platforms. And he was only offering lower ticket products. So it was in the fitness niche. I think the programs were like $7 a week, or you could pay like $67 upfront for 12 weeks. And because he had like millions of followers, this business model technically did work because there was just so much volume that there was enough revenue that was able to be generated. But the thing was, I noticed there was an opportunity to make a lot more. So what I did is I kind of approached this influencer and I was like, hey, look, like the fitness stuff is going great, but what if we built something that we could deliver more value and charge more and kind of launch it to your audience and let's see how it goes, right? So this guy who I was working for, he was a very successful entrepreneur and also had a great physique, right? So he's like a fitness entrepreneur, you could say. And so at the time, those programs that he was offering was just for fitness. And so coaching people on how to get into the best shape of their life. But what wasn't being offered was business coaching and learning how to become a successful entrepreneur. Because I believe a lot of people were following him for that as well. So that was the gap that I saw. He was monetizing. It was just something that hadn't been offered yet. So it was a novelty or something brand new that his audience wanted but never got access to. So I went ahead, I built a digital offer, a coaching program, you could say. And this was something people could join, get higher proximity. So being able to be in a group setting with the influencer, ask him questions, get personalized guidance, literally message him. They got access to a course. They also got access to his network. So it was like a complete package. And the offer was so irresistible that they couldn't say no, right? And when we launched this, we did super well. We generated over 7 figures in about 18 months. And what you saw at the beginning of the video was just one single month of revenue that we're able to generate. And so because the offer that I built was actually more higher ticket. And what is higher ticket? So essentially it's when something is like over $3,000. So one person joining was around $3,000. Now, because this audience had millions, we only needed a very small percentage to be able to hit $100,000 a month mark, right? Literally $100,000 a month is just 34 people joining the program. So if you can understand that maths and realize wait a sec, you only need 34 people to make $100,000? Yes. So that might sound pretty crazy to you, the fact that only 34 people generated over $100,000, but that's what happens when you build a great offer and you deliver it to an audience who is starving for that product or service. So now you may be wondering, how did you actually launch it? What did the marketing look like? So the way he promoted it was to a sales page. So this was a sales page that I built Now on the sales page, it had a few different elements. It had a headline, so that headline called out the target audience or who this was for. And then there was a video, so that video would essentially qualify or disqualify anyone watching it. So after going through that video, the person who watched it would know exactly if it's for them or not. And then under the video, there'll be a button. And so that button would allow them to apply for the coaching program. And so when they click that button, they'll answer some questions, go through the process, and we were able to set the criteria on whether they're a good fit or not. And let's say they were a good fit, then they would hop on a call with one of our team, and then our team would essentially have a conversation with them to see if they want to join. And then if the answer was yes, then they would take the payment on the call and they'll get access into the private network. So that was the entire process in a nutshell. Now, if you want to go out and replicate this for yourself, the first piece of advice would be to find an influencer and spend time finding a good one. So some of the key points are having a great following. I'm talking 100,000 followers at least, plus if you want to build a real big business out of this, having great engagement. So this can't be an influencer who has like fake followers. They need to have real people commenting, liking, because that is very important to this business. We need an audience who's engaged in the content, right? And then the other thing is having weak monetization. So you can do this by checking what links they have in their bio right now. Like, see, what are they promoting? Most of the time, I can tell you, it will be a link tree that will take you to more links, that will take you to affiliate deals, and it's like a spider web. Like, if you want to get access to this person, it will be a nightmare. So what we're going to do is we're going to build something a lot better and increase conversions and increase the amount of people who will pay for this product or service. And so, yeah, once you find a good influencer, the next step is to reach out to them. And you want to state clearly what it is that you're offering, how you can help, why they should reply. Just make it like, again, we want to make a no-brainer offer to the influencer so that they say yes to working with us. And then once we are partnered with the influencer, we want to make like a no-brainer offer to the audience so that they will join the coaching program or whatever you build for them, right? So this like skill of being able to curate offers and get people to want to join not only is to the audience, but it's to the influencer itself. So if you can get good at the skill, firstly, of identifying who a good influencer looks like, and then having that tenacity to build up a list of 100, say, and from there, having the skill of creating an offer to the influencers and, making it so good that they're going to reply and they can't say no. Those are the first two things that you want to do, okay? And so once you do send this message, you will get some replies if you've done a good job, if you know how to make a good offer. And so those who do reply, you want to hop on a call with them and explain the partnership opportunity in a bit more detail. So you want to get into specifics. So like, what do the responsibilities look like? How exactly will you help them monetize? What can the revenue expectations look like? So you want to get into detail on these points. And if you feel it's a good fit with the influencer and that you can actually, help them monetize and build something for them, then you want to say that. And ideally you want the influencer to either say yes or no on the call. Either one is fine, but if you've collected them on your list and you've seen that there's an opportunity, 9 times out of 10, you can help them, and it's just a matter of getting them to say yes, right? So let's assume you've done this part right and you've finally got an influencer on board. They've said yes to you. Now what you want to do is actually build out the offer so you can start making money. So what you want to do is identify the audience's biggest pain points that they have. And you can do this by identifying what niche the influencer is in. So, is this influencer in the fitness niche? Are they in the relationships niche? Like, what problem are they actually solving for people? And ideally, you want to be finding influencers who have a lot of educational content, posting value. The ones I would avoid would be kind of like the lifestyle ones or just funny, posts, viral things that people are not in a buying mode. So yeah, like what niche are they in? And then figure out what are the pain points of the audience. And there's many ways to do this. But yeah, you want to do deep research on this so that when you do build the offer, people actually want it. So once you've identified that and you know exactly what this influencer could help people with, you want to go away and essentially build an offer document. So this offer document should outline everything included. Now you want to make this so good that they can't say no. There's a few elements of making a good offer. I mean, you can research this for yourself, but you want to essentially state the dream outcome that they'll get, and then how long will it take them to get it? Because if you're going to say, look, I'll help you get into shape, but it'll take years, versus I'll help you get abs in 90 days, which one sounds better, right? And then additionally to that, what kind of effort and sacrifice do they have to make? Because if they've got to do a ton of work or restrict their diet so much, it's going to create a lot of friction. And then how likely is it for them to actually achieve that? Do they believe that they can get there? So those are the elements you could say of building a great offer. But yeah, essentially you want to do this, present it to the influencer, make sure that they're on board with it. And then you can go ahead and start building things out. So in the example that I gave, and with the influencer I worked with, I built a kind of a high ticket coaching program. So this involved building a sales page, an application process, and setting up the sales side of things as well. So this is kind of like a funnel. So the skill that you'll need to learn here is how to build funnels, how to connect, step 1 to step 2 to step 3, and how do they actually get into the program, right? That's kind of important. So yeah, that is what the offer building side looks like. And your responsibility is to set this up properly, professionally, make sure everything's working so that when you launch, it will essentially go smoothly and you'll be able to get people joining. Now, another thing is actually delivering the value. So once you do have members, how will you actually serve them? And it's very important to deliver on the value that you've promised. So whatever you and the influencer have agreed on, whether that be a course, coaching, a one-on-one or group coaching, the influencer will need to deliver on that promise and make sure that they help get people results. So that's essentially what the whole process looks like in a nutshell. If you guys are interested in shadow operating and you want to build one of these high ticket businesses with an influencer, then I would encourage you to click that first link in the description. You can apply to work with me one-on-one, and I'll essentially walk you through the entire process. You'll get access to my resources, templates, scripts, everything I've used in my previous business, and also would hop on one-on-one calls. So yeah, I would encourage you to do that if you are serious about making this work. Other than that, please like, subscribe, and see you on the next one.